Welcome back to Little Alchemist Helper. Mr. Anderson again with another pack review. Right now, Monumental just dropped another fantastic seasonal pack. This time dedicated to the summer. So, if you live down under, it's rough, but for the rest of us up here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's probably ridiculously hot outside, and so we've got some crazy hot cards to go right along with them. Starting off with the brand new gold combo card, Summer, we have 126 new combos being added to the game. Now, that's not the most of any of the gold combo cards. The most is actually still going to be Hybrid coming in with 132. And you're like, man, that's like 6 behind. It's still the 16th, or it's tied for the 16th most of just raw combo count. But what you'll see if you start looking at the combos it makes, it quickly moves way above like a top 20 card. I'd say this is probably at least a top 10 gold combo card, arguably a top 5. Looking at like the standard combos, meaning if there were no Onyx cards in the game, it ties with Adventure for number 1, making strong combos. So combos that are like 53, 54, 55 total combined stat power. Of those 126, 64, so over half, are in that like premium 53 total attack defense stats, 54, 55, which is about the strongest you're going to get with some exceptions. Now, if you do have a decent amount of Onyx cards that you want to mix this with, you're, it's going to go right back to that like top 20 position for just total number of combos. That's not that surprising. It's going to be tied with a whole bunch, coming in at 70 total pairings with the available Onyx cards. The best in the game right now is Arcade, and Hybrid, again, those only have 73. So it's really not very far behind at all. Now, if you want to look at like actual strength of those cards, though, again, right back to the top. Number 1, 44 combos with the available Onyxes that are above a 63 attack power. So 64, 65. There are a couple that like go way crazy, but more combos being generated with this gold combo card and another available Onyx to generate some of the strongest just combined attack and defense powered cards in the game. The final question you might ask about this is going to be more of an attack focused, defense focused, and easily that's these are all attack based cards. So with other gold, silver, and bronze cards, making cards that have attack level above 30, you're actually going to get 67 of those. It's more than any other card in the game that's not an Onyx. Some of those are going to have pretty low defense to go along with that really high attack. But if that's all you're looking for, especially like running Tiebreaker or running Heroics, like again, this is a really, really great card. They're really pulling out all the stops on this one. Defense, it's going to come in on like 39th, tied with a whole bunch of cards, but that's not that surprising. It only makes 7 combos that are above 30 defense power unless you're involving Onyx cards. So not much for a stall card, but you'll see that's just kind of the theme along this deck. That'd be about the only reason you won't want to buy this, is if you're trying to just focus on stall tactics or like absorb decks or something like that. It's not going to have a ton in the way of defense kind of throughout the whole pack. That's like the one drawback to this set of cards. All right, let's talk about that Onyx card now. It has also 126 combos with all of the backfills added. So, exactly it's the same as that gold combo card. That puts it in 9th place amongst all available Onyxes. So again, it's not like perfect when it just looks at like the total number of combos that it makes, but 9th place is, you're talking about 126 versus Weapon is the number 1, and that only has 131, so it's a lot closer to the top. Now, that story changes a little bit for the better when you're looking at total number of Onyx cards mixed with like non-standard card or with standard cards that generate strong combos, things that are like in the 64, 65 range. There are 68 of those. So over half, just like the summer card, over half of these arcade cards mixed with like standard gold, silver, bronze, you're going to have frequently very strong combos as a result. In fact, that's the fifth most, and it's better than every other card that beat it for raw number of combos. So the only one that really contests it is Superhero, and that has 125 total combos and 69 combos that are above that like really premium strength threshold. So like it's an Onyx card, just equally as good as Superhero, which again another really top tier one. If you want to look at mixing it with other Onyx cards, not the standard library, now all of a sudden it's number one. And it's number one by not just one combo, but two. It beats out, like, there's a 5-way tie for 71 combos with other Onyx cards for the available ones. It beats them all by two. It has 73 available combos, and they are all quite strong. It's not the number one card for producing those like ultra high premium combos, like above, like when you're talking like 70, like 69, 70 total power plus, but it is number four, so it's nowhere near like shrugging off. So more combos with other Onyx than any other cards. Fourth for those like super strong combos. Coming in with 43 of 73 super strong combos with other Onyx cards. You're going to see, much like the arcade card, they themed these really well together. Very attack focused. All right, so great gold, great Onyx. Clearly the final forms have to be meh, otherwise the pack would be overly powerful and broken. Yeah, no. First up, Brain Freeze, Critical Strike. 36 attack potential if you level it up and fuse it, with a 21 defense. AKA, this is now the number one critical strike card in the entire game. There's nothing more to say about it. It's the number one critical strike card in the game. It's crazy. So the next critical strike we got is Pyrotechnics Display. That's right, there's two. Now this is only going to be a 3323, so not nearly as great as that first one, but 66 on a critical strike, definitely still usable in my book. I know if you're like super late game, you're going to just relegate this to heroics deck only, but if you're new, even, I mean, fairly advanced, I'm running a 66. Like, I know I'm not topping out the arena like Tap used to, but there is plenty of play for this card for just about every player, unless you're really, really, really pushing like top tier of the arena. And even if like that is you, definitely still can put this thing in your heroics deck. Moving on to the absorb cards. There's only one diamond absorb card in this pack, and it's this Yuletide in July. It only has 31 attack power. I mean, 25 defense makes it pretty usable, but it's definitely not a top tier absorb card. But sweet artwork. Love the concept of Santa on a jet ski. So, I mean, definitely viable. Having a 24 total base stat makes a pretty decent absorb card. You're just not going to get quite as much healing out of it as some of the other ones. If you're looking for more absorb, you're going to be disappointed. This is the last absorb card. It's a rare one. Only 22 attack power, 22 defense. I mean, it's all right for rare, but it's not going to give you much healing, so probably not really even usable in heroics, as are most gold final forms and packs. But cool card. I like how, so like this isn't the first one that's doing this, but I like how they're really like starting to incorporate like other elements of the cards in the games. So like here you can see the monkey, the bear, the bird, the dog. Like you instantly know where they're going to try and like pick up the combos for this, and it's a nice touch. I appreciate the like self-referencing that this pack actually does quite a bit. You'll see it all up and down these cards. So while we're talking more about like stall, for the protection cards, this is actually a really strong protection. It's going to end up with a total of 35 defense, so you double it, that's 70. That's a massive wall. I'm not a huge fan of the protections, but if you're looking for one, this is definitely decent. And as you'll see in the combo list, this is basically the only way you're going to get the Summertide card to make a defensive play. There's a couple more like defensive leaning ones, but this is pretty much it as far as what like super stall tactics Summertide can offer you. Now, the opposite of a staycation, a far getaway. It's another protect card. There's three, so this is the second of the three. It will actually not even be a defensive card, which is kind of an interesting choice. I wonder if this was intended to be the other gold plunder based on the stats. So I wouldn't be super surprised if they end up back ending this to be a plunder card. So if you do pull this, don't necessarily dust it right away if you're looking for some of those plunder cards, because for a gold plunder card, it's not terrible. But for a protect card, it's really weird with having that lower defense stat. The last protection card, this one makes sense and will definitely stay a protection card, but it is also just another gold one. It's Sandcastle Siege. Pretty obvious reference to some of the other mobile games out there. I like the little like self-reference. You know, they're aware of who they're competing with. I get definite like Clash of Clans. I don't play that game, but I get the vibe. But maybe I'm way off base on this one. It'll end up with 27 total defense. So I mean, it's a gold protect card. I don't think it has much usability, but that's where it will land if that's something that you're looking to put together. And who knows? They've changed the way that some of the fusion powers work. Maybe in the future this will actually be viable. But for now, you know, it's a cool card with some decent artwork, but I probably won't be like going out of my way to fuse it up. That's now I mentioned Far Getaway is potentially the other plunder card. It's not set that way now, but the one that is set correctly is this diamond plunder card called Going Overboard. Heavy on the pirate and the other themes. Like it's another card that references other cards in the game. Like this is the pirate ship, but I can't think of the name right offhand, from that pirate pack right there in the background. So obviously going to combo up with a lot of those other cards that that you like see like perfectly drawn out in the art. Now, as far as a plunder card goes, I should really be keeping track of these better. It's a 34 total attack, and I think that's either tied for the highest or it is the highest. And then on top of that, it's got 21 defense. It could be a little bit higher, but haven't seen a lot of play with these in the arena. But I think as they become more available to the player base, we'll start seeing more and more of them. Okay, moving on to the Crushing Blow cards. Only one diamond Crushing Blow. Pretty solid. I mean, I think that Critical Strike is more usable than Crushing Blow, but still, 32 attack power. You'll instantly one-shot someone in the arena if they haven't bought extra health or aren't running Master Healer. So, again, like if you're facing newer players in the arena, this is like basically a guaranteed one-shot kill. So, nothing to scoff at there. The other Crushing Blow card is only a rare though, and that would be this Returning Reality. Obvious reference to Hogwarts. Great art, terrible stats. It's going to end up being a 2019 Crushing Blow card. Like this is going to be hard to use, but it does have some really cool art, especially of that Harry Potter series. Carries some nostalgia for you. For the only curse card in the pack, we have Midsummer Dream. It's a gold, so I mean, the 15 total defense really. I mean, that's low on defense, but that's not going to hurt it because it's a curse card. But 28 attack is going to be your max there, and like that's not super helpful. So, I mean, all of these packs have pretty hard to use gold cards, and this is just another one of them. But for the last group of them, we have 2 counters. This is going to be a 32-22 Olympian Games. I'm surprised I didn't call it Olympic. I don't think that the term Olympic is copyrighted. Obviously, I have no idea, but the Olympian Games. So just in time for the Olympics this year. I wonder if they'll backfill this with the Wintertide in like 2 years when the Winter Olympics happen again. I don't know if they can. That those combos like might be taken. I mean, you can see to make it like you have a whole bunch of like speed, strength, energy, um, wealth. Wealth is a combo. Those types of things would obviously play with Wintertide to make the other Olympian Games. So I'm curious if they'll end up using those as backfills when those Olympic Games roll around. I think a lot of those are already taken though, so maybe not. But with 32-22, that's a pretty good counter. I'm not very high on the defense, but certainly high on the attack. That's exactly what you want to see. And then for the other counter, it's a gold one, but it only has one defense, meaning it's only going to have 13 defense when it's fused. And that is almost perfect. You know, I know I talked about this on the last pack review. There is Lady Revenant. That's a 12 defense gold counter card that's available. But this is almost perfect when you're talking about gold counter cards. With the current arena setup, it's hard to pull off. It's hard to use. But they, when they keep adding these highly usable gold counter cards, I'm wondering if there's potential plans in the future to have like seasons, arena seasons where, it's for one season only and counter is made overpowered, like deliberately. And then the next season it will be, Absorb will be the overpowered one. And, then you'll have, or you can have seasons where, they just tweak little stuff. They keep seeding these cards, these counter rare cards into the pack that I wonder if there's something that they're not talking about on the roadmap that they're planning on using them. So this is like a potential, just like buy it, hold it, don't dust it, forget about it for now. And then later there's going to be some announcement, oh, hey, this season only, we'll talk about it on the channel if that happens. That will be the time to fuse all these up. But again, great reference. I love the villain and the monster card right in the artwork, and then it's obviously a reference to like just those old matinee style, back before. No, I don't want to do this. Back in my day, you'd go to the movie theater in the summer because it was the only building in town with air conditioning. Now, I shouldn't make fun of that because I understand that this is an international reach and there are plenty of countries where air conditioning is not standard. Granted, the heat index here was like 105 the other day. I don't know. That's freedom units. That's probably like close to 40 in the rest of the world's. But yeah, you'd go watch a movie in the afternoon in the middle of summer because it was like literally the only building in town that had AC, and everywhere else you're just dying of heat. That's the whole pack. Overall, recommend buying it. Probably will pick up some extra gems to buy it out myself. Love the art, love the cards. Like, this is another great one. So thank you, Monumental, for putting it together for us, and thank you for watching to the end of the video. That's all I've got. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.